Welcome to KR Films Entertainment Channel. Hi everyone, it's well good at this is a brief retelling of the 1983 movie My Tutor. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Labs are all. The movie begins with several beautiful girls doing aerobics. While at the same time a French exam is taking place in the next room. Bobby sits in class until the very end but still fails the test without getting the right number of points. Kaye blames himself for this, realizing that he won't be able to get him to a decent university. His run support someone says that summer is the best time to get away from his studies and finally lose his virginity. Seeing Bobby and unrequited high school sweetheart are nearby. The boy rushes over to talk to about suffers another setback due to his fear and insecurity in dealing with the girls. In the evening Bobby, Jack and his older brother Billy go into a brothel. Billy arranges with the owner of the brothel that you will find decent was with the boys who can give them their first sexual experience. Jack gets a date with an experienced blonde and Bobby gets under Maria with big breasts. Expectations and reality tend to be far apart, at least until to be a dominant lover. When Neil Jack with leather straps to a circle instead of a bag. The guy flat realizing he wasn't ready for that kind of experimentation. Bobby was much more lucky, but he was soon or was that he first passed out and then fell asleep on the last rests of the beauty. The next morning Bobby's for the calls them to discuss his school French test results. The father was the boy to school at least 85 points, which would allow him to enter Yale University. The man studied there and showed that his son must follow in his footsteps and become a fight lawyer. He reached for Bobby to retake the exam at the end of the summer. And to spend those months with the best range due to in America. Of meeting Terry Green, Mr. Crystal promises the woman not only a standard salary but also a bonus of $10,000. If some passes the exam with flying colors. Bobby meets Derry and is disappointed as his original plans for the summer were ruined. The boy had hoped to be able to lose his virginity and spend time with his friends, but he's forced to study language that's difficult and comprehensible. To the first lessons don't go very well because Bobby is focused on his studies. And he's much more interested in talking to his teacher. In the course of the conversation W loads that Terry has recently broken up with a boyfriend and she's 29 years old, revealing the thread set out again to find girls to take their virginity. Billy makes a deal with a waitress at a local cafe, was willing to satisfy the guys in the back for a small fee. Bobby was lucky enough to be the first, but at the most inopportune moment a crowd of bikers arrived at the cafe. It didn't sell that one of them is the waitress's boyfriend and he's willing to kill anyone she cheats on, or whether Will is disinterested in meeting the biker and at first hides underway car and that escapes miraculously surviving opponent shooting whom the schoolboy can't sleep. I decide to take a walk around the property. When he is annoys any of who he goes that way and sees Derry, who decided to swim naked. Bobby spies on the teacher and peeks out of the window admiring the woman's forms. The next morning during class, instead of solving the test, Bobby fell asleep. He imagines making love to Terry with the kitchen table. But he soon realizes that he's dreaming of the freshening up a bit in the pool, but he confesses that he dreams of becoming an astronaut. He's not at all interested in French and Yale University. Terry supports his desire to be independent, but all she cares about is that the guy passes the exam. A couple of days later Bobby meets Jack and the guys watch the girls doing aerobics. Jack is thrilled by the spectacle and he's ready to have a private lesson with each one of them to finally lose his virginity. Making some progress, Bobby schools and Meaty and 10 Red bugs the guy to a restaurant to celebrate. The couple has a drink, any nice chat, when suddenly terrorist acts shows up and decide to patch things up. Luckily Sylvester is too busy with work and while he's on the food the couple runs off. A wealthy man stalks the schoolboy's movie and writes down the vehicle's license plate number to find Bobby Watts a dental address. Continuing to experience sexual fantasies, the boy returns home and once again spies on the teacher be the naked in the pool. Then Wilby loses sight of Terry and at one point she sneaks up behind the guy asking him not to follow her anymore. In the afternoon the schoolboy sees teacher with Sylvester and into Fee. He's in their dialogue by making the woodland jealous. of evening he and his friends go off to a women's wrestling match in the dirt, but once again we rent-free complete Bama strong the aroused billion check got in the ring with the girls and the gods threw them out of the bar after the show. The guys trying to get to mill the hotties again but narrowly escape a fight with the Utahs. Meanwhile Terry came to visit her boyfriend but he wouldn't open the door for her to lest the car was parked in the garbage and the moon headed for it only to catch him cheating. Polluting whom Bobby noticed that the teacher was sad and decided to cheer her up. The guy couldn't sleep at night and decided to go swimming in the pool with Terry, though pushing the schoolboy away. The woman kisses him and led them into the bedroom to make love. Becoming Bobby's first experience. A few days later Bobby celebrates his birthday by throwing a party in the backyard. Mr. Crystal invites Tuvi over for a chat during which he confesses that he wants to make love. But teacher rejects the rich man because she's not a property and doesn't like men who think that with the money they're allowed everything. Bobby is also present at the party and notices that Bobby has changed a little, has become more masculine and more confident with the girls. The evening movie visits the teacher again to spend the night with a taboo, thinks that dating should stop because of the guy might fall in love. And the breakup will be painful for him. Bobby reassures the teacher by telling her that he's a gentle boy and a strong and insensitive man who would return to the boys' the woods, and they spend the night together again. In the morning Bobby escapes to his bedroom. Is that his parents will notice his absence a little later. Sylvester arrives at the house to talk to Terry again. Standing up for the you will be decides to change the insolent man and way. As with Sylvester didn't want to leave because you're ready for a fight and is a black belt in karate, but the revolver convinced him to change his mind. The luxury store Bobby says that he has an experienced lover and buys a special gift. For the guy is completely satisfied with Terry in bed but wants to improve the skills and spends all of his free time studying books with different posers. He looks at them so enthusiastically that he doesn't notice Bobby. You see what kind of literature the schoolboy's into and makes new conclusions about him. Good evening. The boy's parents go out to friends and he spends time with Terry, continuing to measure with everything I learned in the past few days. A couple of days later Sylvester follows Terry and Bobby again to talk to the girl. The teacher confesses that she's having an affair with a schoolboy. The angry Sylvester does everything he can to stop them, but they double in a car accident, smashing up brand new Porsche. The next morning Bobby's parents leave for another city for a few days. The couple decided to use this to be alone in the game. That's the housekeeper and the gardener go in the evening billion jacket right but their friend's house for another adventure and possibly first sexual experience. Hearing a woman moaning, the brothers sneak up the window and spot Bobby satisfying the teacher. The Jack realizes that he is the last virgin left and is ready to go to Mexico just to fix it as soon as possible. So the parents return home and organized dinner will be. Finally decides to talk to his father and confesses that he dreams of becoming an astronaut. Conflict begins between them and Terry's jobs the boy under the table to come down and to agree with his father. The last lesson comes to an end and Bobby goes back to his bathroom. As he says goodbye to Terry, he kisses the woman, unaware that his father is watching the whole thing from the window. The next morning Bobby takes the Frenches and gets the 91. He spends the weekend with a woman he loves it when she informs him that she's leaving to visit her parents in France. When he returns home the schoolboy tells his father that he's old enough to be independent, so he will decide where to study. To Mr. Crystal tells us that Terry has been working with them for money and will go get $10,000. For it will be things that their intimacy had nothing to do with love but rather Terry's greed, and tells the everything he thinks about it. After leaving home the guy has an accident and crushes as moped. At night he visits Bonnie and thanks to his newfound confidence seduces the go and spends the night with that. In the morning he returns home and says goodbye to Terry, apologizing for his behavior. They promise never to forget a chow and kiss goodbye. Terry leaves and will be jobs with happiness, realizing that he has a bright future ahead of him, and that's the end of the movie. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Movie Retailed for more videos like this.